Hey everybody, welcome back to Northernlion Plays a Binding of Isaac Afterbirth Plus. 17 wins in a row. I got a feeling we're angling for a tougher run this time. It's looking like a back half character. It's looking like, you know. It's by default, this is not necessarily a hard character, but we'll see. Jay-Z, dude, is a celebrity in the house. JC, ADR 3. I don't mind a 7-cent payout on the first room. Ooh, 7 cents and a key. That's a 12-cent value in case you're following along at home. That got us into trouble last time. As Lazarus. I don't think we'll play a self-sacrifice room unless the trade winds change a little bit for us here. You know what? I keep thinking, like, is there some kind of Monty Hall problem there? You know, is it like, if you don't know what the item is, a reroll will always be better? I can't help but think that the answer is definitely no. But it's one of those things where, you know, you wonder. You wonder if there isn't something a little under the surface that you could... I mean, here's the thing. People tell you about stuff like, you know, oh, the Monty Hall problem. You know, if you're on Let's Make a Deal, statistically speaking, if Monty gives you the opportunity to change from door A or from door 1 to door 2, you should always take it. Mathematically, that is indeed the case. But if you're on Let's Make a Deal one time in your entire life, my personal opinion is you should just go with your heart. Because a sample size of 1, it's not to say the odds don't apply, but, you know, anything can happen on a single dice roll or a single coin flip. So my personal opinion is, even if there is a Monty Hall problem to be resolved when it comes to rerolls and the like, screw it. Because no amount of rerolling is worth the amount of time it would cost me. And I'd like to know what I'm missing out on if possible. So here's my new secret, okay? Sometimes, oh, never mind, we can't even do it. Okay, we're gonna get spiced. I think we could go to the self-sacrifice room to do this, but I don't think it's that valuable. So we're gonna do that. We're gonna who dat, IGGY. We're gonna grab this, and now we've already gotten the first part of the Lazarus equation handled. I feel good about this. What I was hoping is that we'd be able to buy a bomb, use the bomb to access the golden chest, open the golden chest, and because we have burnt penny, we'd stand a really good chance to get more bombs back in return if there were pennies inside of there, and then we could use those to get the other key, and at bare minimum, break even, and probably get a little bit more out of it even, but... Unfortunately, one of the rare shops without a bomb. Much like 60 Seconds Reatomized, if you take a gas mask out on an expedition, they're going to ask you to use the gas mask. Some of these creeps are not my creep. You need a bomb, you're not going to get a bomb. But we have everything else we need here. 4 walls and adobe slats. And the bombs are coming fast and furious. Now, I'm even willing to try this out. Because again, you know, if you get a single penny, it pays for itself in like 50% of scenarios. Anyway. Yeah, it's a good trade. Plus, we're going to get a black market. Okay, so every once in a while, here's my actionable content creation secret. Every once in a while, throw out a ridiculous prediction. If it comes true, you're gonna look psychic, and you can leverage that for some degree of popularity. It's not gonna work. It's not reliable, but you just keep teasing those little. Give the universe the opportunity to surprise you now and then. You might get some incredible moments. You know what I mean? Like there was that one time where I was like, if we get a legendary in this Hearthstone pack, I submit that Satan is my lord and master. That hurts. Wouldn't you know it? It happened. Now, Did I submit that Satan is my Lord and Master? No, because I don't believe in superstition to begin with. So really, I was playing both sides. So no matter what, I came out on top. It's a great room for us here, potentially. I still like to see this. Don't hit me. I've been hit too much on this floor. We've gotten a lot of advantages, and I've squandered most of them. Hey, it's okay. Sorry, I bit the side of my lip there. Yeah. I like this a lot. I bit, like, the front of my mouth, like, just under my lip the other day. And I mean, this was, like, 4 or 5 days ago now. I can still feel, like, the cut, the abrasion. It's extremely wild. Because I was just talking, and I was like, oh, you know, I'll take medium rare. Yeah! It, like, drew blood. It was like a malicious injury. Perpetuated by myself on myself. Again, just another lesson in human beings. Not that bright. This is a tough one, huh? Lots of great items here. I think, you know, we can only take one. We could have taken two. And I guess in theory we still could, but we could have taken two if we had taken Magic Scab in here. But then we would have had to pay full price for this if we only wanted one. So, you know, it's an interesting cross-section. If they would have let me go back in, I would have probably taken Guppy's Paw, but I'll settle for this. I think we got a really good payout there. And we got no reason to be afraid of this run. Except Rate of Fire is kind of stinky, but that's alright. Anyway. Dude, it's almost February. I'm not going to say the year's whipping by, because I don't think that that's true. I think it generally passes at roughly the same speed, but February, it's a noteworthy February, dude, because it's a leap year. How do I know it's a leap year? The rule, people always have to look it up, and I understand. I have to look up stuff all the time that, you know, you could easily derive for yourself. But let me teach you a little trick about leap years if you've never had to take an introductory programming class where you had to make an algorithm to check whether a date was a leap year. Leap years happen every 4 years. What's the starting year? This is going to throw you for a loop. It's on multiples of 4. So, year 0, year 4, year 8, 12, 16, 20. However, every 100th year, or wait, every 100th leap year? Now I'm like, hold on. I believe the 100s, or alternatively, like every 100 years or every 400 years, that leap year doesn't count. So it turns out my tip was basically bunk. But essentially, you know, 2004, 8, 12, 16, 2020. Like, I was watching a show last night, and the person in the show said there's a discount because it's a leap year. Or they said there's a discount, and they said, yeah, but February is the shortest month, so it's not much of a discount. And he said, oh, it's a leap year, though, so you get 1 extra day. And I said, oh, this must have been, well, I said it in my head. This must have been recorded in 2016. Finishes the show. All copyright and trademarks are reserved by the CBC, 2016. I'm not saying I'm a genius. It's pretty much useless information. But just something people don't think about. It's not just that it's every 4 years. Oh, I was going to use a bomb anyways. This is the rare positive explosive diarrhea. How many amnesias have we taken here? I think that they should teach you leap years are just every 4 years starting at, like, you know, the 0th year, if that makes sense. And then, you know, once every 100 to 400 years, you'll be wrong. If you can't handle being wrong once a century, you're gonna have a long and painful life. I'm wrong probably, I would say on average at least twice an hour. Ranging from stuff that I say in these videos to, you know, improper ways to do chores. I'm very comfortable with my own inabilities. Am I right more often than I'm wrong? I don't know. Maybe one day. We're working on it. It's a never-ending quest. I really like where we're at on this run. I think we're in the kind of the beautiful habitable zone for an Isaac run, which is we're just slightly stronger than we need to be comfortable. Oh, I love that. Which is really, really nice because it means that, you know, you're never in that spot where you're constantly, like, just distracted because the run's too easy. Sure. But at the same time, you're not, you know, one mistake away from blowing your streak. We're like 5 mistakes away from blowing the streak, which is a great place to be. I like it at least. And I've been enjoying the Isaac content lately, I gotta tell you. It's been a good time, and hey, man, you know, it's let's go back and grab this first. It's always nice when you're winning. You know what I mean? I think it's when you're winning, it's an easy time to be an Isaac player, because all you gotta do is keep a smile on your face and have some fun. When you're losing, and this goes for just about any. I was gonna equate it to like any part of content creating, but I actually think like it's the same for like life, you know? When times are good, it's easy. It's easier at least. When times are bad, it's a lot harder. I think we should play this guy. Players only love you when they're playing. How did we blow up the rocks? But not blow him up. He's resilient. Moldy bread, absolutely what we wanted to see. Don't hit me, I can't dodge, dude. I want a refund. I want a mail-in rebate on that damage. Anybody watching this work at a grocery store? I have a question. I received a coupon for a free Nando's peri peri sauce. I enjoy Nando's peri peri sauce. I tend not to purchase it because I already have a Cholula and a Sriracha and sometimes like a Sambal Olek, and you know, you get the idea. You know, I like a peri peri, but at the same time, I'm not one of those guys that's like, I have 25 hot sauces. You know, we got limited fridge real estate. I'd like to not overstate my welcome. However, I had a question because I was reading this coupon, and I think, you know, one of the skills that I have about life, that I admire about myself, I like about myself, is I have a curiosity about the mundane. I don't think we get any benefit out of this. What do I mean by that? I mean, things that a lot of other people find exciting, I don't understand. But things that a lot of other people might find, like, immensely boring, sometimes I'm like, oh, I wonder how that came to pass. So I'd never really thought about it before, but I looked at the coupon, and the coupon was like, it was issued by, like, a marketing firm working with Nando's. And it said, hey, if a customer presents you with this, please honor it for up to an $8 value. Keep the receipt, send it to us, and we'll reimburse you. Okay, I can live with that. I'm glad I did this. This is a spicy room. In a good way, though. And I thought to myself, if you work at a grocery store, how often does this happen? And also, does the grocery store ever neglect to actually... Oh, let's go. To actually redeem the coupon. Because I feel like that's how that system's designed to work, you know what I mean? To some extent. I don't mean to pull the veil back too much, I don't mean to be too cynical, but I think to some extent that system works by like, hey, we'll give you a free bottle of hot sauce. All you gotta do is pay for it and then mail us the bill and we'll send it back. I'm not gonna say most people won't mail back the bill, but a lot of people are not gonna mail back the coupon. If you work in a grocery, do you have like a day? Do you have like a coupon day when you get together all the redeemed coupons and mail them out? Like, what's up with that? I'm being sincere, by the way. This, I'm sure for a lot of people, you're like, that's really boring. For me, I'm like, I've got burning questions that need to be answered. I'm interested because, you know, I didn't realize you could do that. I didn't realize you could just write up a document that was like, hey, if somebody gives you this document, please give them something for free and I'll pay for it. It seems like a weird sort of business, right? I feel like if I were a grocery store, would I redeem the coupon or would I honor the coupon? I mean, probably, because, you know, I'm assuming you're doing good business regardless, so it's not really a huge loss at the end of the day, but I'm like, can't you just... It seems easily abused, let me put it that way. Okay, here's what you do. You grab this. And I mean, you can fill in the blanks for this for yourself. Our intention here is to get a half red heart or a full red heart and then use the Joker card. So that we can actually materialize a benefit from Old Bandage beyond just creating red hearts for us. This run's going really well. We got all the pieces we need. Spider Kid, no one to remind you you got your friend. Well, it turns out we didn't need the heart, but it's okay. And we will take that over flush in a heartbeat. Okay, let's head down. We're not that far ahead of schedule, actually. I know I said head down, but now we're like, you know, I just want to see what we got down here. I mean, you never know, dude. Another card could be worth a lot for us. All right, I can live with that. Yeah. I mean, it's just weird to me, you know, that you could, that a total third party could just make something that's like, hey, I'm good for the money. Give him a free bottle of hot sauce if they give you this document. I'm sure that, like, it's such an antiquated thing. Coupons, I feel like I don't see them as much anymore. Maybe I'm incorrect or in some kind of bubble on that. You always got to acknowledge your own blind spots, I suppose. But, feel like if it were to be abused, those have probably been ironed out by now. And I guess, like, in general, everything is prone to abuse. To some extent. It's just, you know, people don't do it because they're not scumbags, or alternatively, they're like, if I get caught doing this, I'm gonna go to jail. I'm always, you know, as a kid, I'm being very careful with the way I word this. I'm a law-abiding citizen. But as a kid, you're like, you can't do something. It's against the law. You can do illegal things to your heart's content. Like, there's no framework in place. I'm not saying you should, by the way. I'm just saying it's weird because, like, you know, if you use a computer program and, you know, you try to do something that's I don't want to say unlawful, but a forbidden action, the computer program will not allow you to do it. And I think that's the framework through which I've conceived of this before. However, if you want to, like, you know, do something illegal, nothing pops up and goes like, hey, this is illegal. Do not proceed. You can just, like, do it. Again, I'm not saying you should. And many people are probably going, this is obvious. But many other people are probably going, whoa, he's right. The reason I think, you You know, I guess what I'm trying to say to wrap it up in a way that makes any kind of coherent sense is like, when you really think about it, it's stunning how much of modern society is built upon the honor system. You know what I mean? And I mean, it's working, I guess. I guess there are people who take advantage of that fact, but you know, most people, I think, conceive of themselves as good people and try to operate within the system. But it's like, I was always so surprised that I'm like, you know, you could text and drive. You definitely should not, and that's why I chose it as an example. It's something I super don't condone. I think if you text and drive, you're an idiot, like an actual fool. I operate an online business, and I still don't look at my phone when I'm driving. So I mean, like, what excuse do you have? With all due respect. I mean, you could just let it sit for a minute, is what I'm trying to say. Oh, let's go. This is big. Let's do Gaz and then get the heck out of here. Yeah, I don't really have a point. It's just like, I was thinking about it the other day, and I'm like, I mean, it's something, I guess if I was to tie it back into something more, like, interesting, like, it makes you think about, like, the philosophy of legality, right? I think about that because I watch all these true crime documentaries, and I'm like, I haven't reconciled it within myself yet. I think this is a very worthwhile exchange. Like, what's the purpose of our legal system? What's the purpose of prison? You know, is prisons, and I'm not qualified to talk about this, which is why I'm just sticking to generalities and spitballing, but is the purpose of prison to rehabilitate, or is the purpose of prison to punish, or is it something in between? I feel like most people in my demographic that are watching these videos probably would say that the purpose of prison is to rehabilitate, you know? Is to take people that have done an unacceptable, unlawful action and turn them into law-abiding citizens who, you know, have the ability to exit prison and live productive lives that are, you know, happy and healthy and, you know, also in keeping with the laws and standards of the land. Okay, I agree, I do. But what do you do with people that, you know, commit a crime that is unacceptable, but simultaneously punishing them for it will make their life substantially worse? You know what I mean? Like, what do you do with somebody who has a habit of shoplifting, you know? If you throw them in prison to rehabilitate them, in theory that seems like a good thing, except by the time they get out, you know, if they have a criminal record now, they're going to be impeded somewhat from living their best possible life. Now, if your reply to that is, well, they should have thought about that before they shoplifted, now you're treating it as punishment, and to some extent, I'm like, I kind of agree. That's why I can't puzzle it out, right? It's like no solution fits for absolutely everything, which is probably why, you know, people who have spent their whole lives in this industry, you know, get paid to talk about it and speak about it and form policy about it and so on, you know? It's, I think about it like, I don't want to say all the time, but every time I'm watching one of these documentaries. Because I also agree, and I'm like, you know, we're getting into some heavy subject matter here. So I apologize if it's controversial for you, but I feel like I'm treating it with the respect it deserves. You know, if you believe prison is meant as rehabilitation, do you believe that anybody's beyond rehabilitation? You know, what about a serial killer? Do you believe if you put them in like the perfect environment for rehabilitation, they could become, you know, a member of society that, anyway, and you know, like, what about the family members that, you know, have suffered trauma as a result of this? Is that fair to them? Or is it fair to society to, you know, base the punishment and treatment of somebody off of, you know, the people who hate them the most? I don't know. it's spicy. It's a spicy topic of conversation, without a doubt. I'm far from an expert, clearly. But it's something to think about for sure. Then that's before you even get into the fact that, you know, it costs you money, it costs the state money to keep people incarcerated, and just interesting. Still haven't figured it out, and it's an environment that's strange for me because you know, I watch a lot of shows that are in a broad sense kind of like exploitative, like, you know, reality shows that take place in prison, and I'm like, they probably like signed a waiver and they might even be getting paid a little bit to be in the show, but they're also like, it's kind of not fair because if you're in prison, I'm sure you're just bored out of your skull on a daily basis. You know, you're almost approaching someone in duress and being like, "Hey, you want to be in this TV show?" Anyway, I don't know. This is not normally the direction we go in Isaac content, but it's something just food for thought. I'd be interested in, you know, feel free to recommend like reading material on it, because it is something like I'm interested in peeping. Like to know more about the philosophy of law. Because, you know, I watched this documentary, it was probably like a year and a half ago now, but I watched this documentary about like a Norwegian prison where like, you know, the maximum sentence in Norway is like 23 years or something like that. And the inmates have, you know, jobs, they have responsibilities, they take classes. It's relatively like hands-off and et cetera, et cetera. And it seems very foreign coming from a North American system, for sure. But at the same time, it also seems like it's got, you know, some serious benefits associated with it. But it is weird coming from the other perspective of like, man, you could commit like some truly heinous crimes and in 23 years, you know, you're good to go. At the same time, 23 years is a heavy task, or it's a heavy sentence, I should say, you know? If I got sentenced to that, I mean, they probably wouldn't do this. But if I got sentenced to that when I was 10, I still would not be out of prison. That's wild. So, you know, I don't know. Are there any philosophy of law books for a complete idiot? I would love to know. Would you like to know more? Get back to the grocery store anecdotes. No, what we do now is say make a tier list of legal strategies. From astounding to really bad, let's go with minimum security prison with privileges to lock them in a, you know, 6x6 cell and throw away the key. I would never make that tier list. But the idea of making that tier list is hilarious. Anyway. You know it's a good Isaac run when you get into those topics of conversation. We essentially have no path to a loss, and that's beautiful. That's a beautiful thing. This will be win 18, which is still is like a little baby streak, but it's a streak that we can, you know, I've been taking pride in this streak since it hit double digits for sure, but you know, we're closing in on slightly higher double digits, and honestly, it's been smooth sailing. Not really so much due to my own participation. The seeds have been extraordinarily benevolent. I mean, we've had Brimstone, Mom's Knife, you know, multiple varieties of piercing shots, great stats, tons of HP on most of these. Certainly not a situation where I'm like, we've pulled out many upsets. That's okay. I admire the routine as well. I admire the structure. We got some valuable bombs, too. 99 scatter poison bombs that are also Mr. Mega, now that I think about it. Oh, that's good for us. Do-do-do-do. Like I said, I think about the mundane. I'm like... I feel like I'm aggressively mundane in some ways. And I'm being 1,000,000,000% sincere when I say what I'm about to say. I feel like if you talk to me and you were like... And this is no disrespect, okay? If you were like, I'm a wakeboarding instructor or something like that. Or, you know, like, I'm a stunt car driver. I feel like I would be like, that sounds like a cool job, but I don't really have any questions for you. You know? But if you were like, I work in like research and development at the Kraft Food Corporation, and right now we're working on like a new line of cheese-infused crackers, I would love to speak with you. I would... Let me pay. I'm taking you out to lunch. Can you book 45 minutes out of your schedule? It's on me. I just gotta pick your brain, because I have no idea what you do. I would love to know more. Anyway, another good run. Get in touch. For now, thanks for watching. That's 18 wins in a row. If you enjoyed it, click the like button. Helps out a great deal. Of course, subscribe if you want to see more in the future. For now, thanks for watching. I will see you next time. See ya!